Welcome back to Spank Ranch Garage. Tonight we've got this ZTS 7500 lawnmower. It's a Craftsman. They don't really make it, probably MTD makes it. It's got a nice big 26 horse Briggs on it. And it's a real good running mower, but it's got an issue and the controls are extremely jerky. And this is very common apparently to happen to these, and I want to show you what actually happens and how to fix it.
Yeah, that's some energy, girl.
You see how jerky that is? I don't know if you can tell on camera, but you're gonna see there's a lot of deflection in the frame here when that's happening, and that's actually the root cause of this issue. So if you watch here, see how the whole belly pan of the mower is flexing in relation to the rear plastics here and all that kind of stuff? So looking under the mower, it becomes obvious what the issue is here, and it's actually a cross member in the frame breaks. You can see it's actually broken over here as well. And this member adds a ton of stiffness to these stamped steel chassis, if you want to call it that. It barely is. This mower is just very Home Depot or whatever, but you'll see where this is broken here. This allows this whole thing to banana in the center, and your linkage is mounted right there. So all of that deflection of the frame actually translates to motion on the hydraulic motor and makes this thing buck and ride like crazy. I'm gonna put some weight on the frame and demonstrate what's happening. So here you can see how the whole frame flexes. And that unfortunately takes your steering input with it and sends that to the hydraulic motor. So it makes this thing really tough to operate. Alright, piece of wood under the front, block the rear wheels. This isn't the probably safest way to do it, but you can figure out a better way. Up in there is the crack that we're interested in. You'll see it's fairly open. So if I take a floor jack and I press along this linkage in the back here, we're gonna close that frame up. Well, it's more like we're gonna close the frame and that gap will get real small and then you can weld it back together. So I'm gonna jack this up, watch that gap close. And on this side, nice and tight, cracks all closed up. That's gonna be the position you actually wanna weld it in. So my plan is to prep this area to weld it, put a tack and a tack to hold this together, then sit it back on, you know, get this jack out of here because it's kind of hairy, and then actually put some heat into it, weld a bead on there. All right, so a little die grinder action, get in there, grind that out a little bit so you can get some penetration in there. For the left side, it looks like I could just weld this as is here. I have enough room to get the gun up in there. The right side, it tucks back, the crack tucks back up behind the lever here, so we may unbolt the shock and the linkage and try to swing this forward and gain a little more room. So now with this stuff removed, we can bring that lever in and rotate it back and hopefully get the space we need. With the lever pulled all the way forward now with a bungee cord, you can actually see that crack runs up across the weld and then actually continues further up there. So I'm going to get the die grinder in and get a little further up there, and then we can weld this up. That's the frying bacon. Yeah. That's what you want. Yeah. All right, now with this tacked into position, tacked up here, we can release the floor jack and make a little safer of a setup here. All right, so all welded up here. nice and spattered on there. I actually went around the backside and ran up that way too. Put a little paint on it for that pro look. And this mower is fixed, but we can't say that until we drop her down on the ground and show you the difference. So with the welding complete, look how stiff the frame now is. Right, before, this whole thing would have been bending like a banana. Now she's nice and rigid again, just like China intended. That wraps up this quick repair. If you guys have any of these stamped steel type, you know, not commercial zero turns, you're probably dealing with this, or you will be dealing with it soon. This one only has 355 hours on it. This probably cracked at, 200 hours, and it's been that way. So if your steering is jerking, inspect your hydraulic linkages, but most likely on these stamped steel type, when it's got a big banana frame like this, it's probably a cracked frame. Anyway, thanks for watching Spank Ranch Garage. You got any questions, post them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.